Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the United Star. And this is a new episode of the StarCast. We've got Neyba from Man United Mexico and Rachel from She Devils United. She Devils has been on the channel before, so do check both these pages out. They do some fantastic stuff with Manchester United on Instagram, and She Devils has got a YouTube channel as well. So do go and check it out. So let's get straight into it, guys. Manchester United have lost their fourth semi-final in a row, unfortunately, and it sort of seems that this year would be without a title as well. Would you agree with that, Rachel, or do you think we yet have a chance in the FA Cup?
I think we've got a chance. We've got to go for everything we're in. So my mentality is if we're still in it, we've still got a chance of winning it. Because at Manchester United, you have to believe that you're the best and you have the right to be there, and you have to work your arse off to get there. So we're still in it, and I think the win last night was a bit. I think a lot of fans are a bit annoyed about the win because it was only 1-0, but I don't think they take into consideration that it was 9 changes, so it was very disjointed. So I think a win is a win. It was an ugly win, but a win is a win. But we've got to go for everything we're in. So I mean, we've still got the FA Cup, Premier League, and the Europa League. So in my mind, we could win all three.
Mm-hmm.
What's stopping us? It's just a mentality.
Right. So I think Rachel, you've said something that word that I mean, all that's on the lips of all Manchester United fans. The word mentality. So Neva, do you think that there is a sort of lack of mentality because we have lost 4 semi-finals in a row? And let's be honest, the game against City, we were never really in it. It never looked like we're going to win this game at any stage. It seemed like one of those Pep Guardiola performances, like after the 2009 Champions League comes to mind, that it was inevitable that they were going to score at some point and take the game away from us. So, do you think it is a mentality problem, or do you think we just don't have the squad?
I think yes, it's a lack of mentality because we lost 4 semifinals in a row, and we have done everything to reach the semifinal, but we get there and we suddenly look like we are not playing a semifinal at all. We in the second half we didn't look like we had to draw the game. We never showed something more, even though the substitutions were like clueless, I guess. And then I think it's something with them because I think we had the squad to win games, to challenge the big teams. We are a big team, so we have to challenge. We have to reach the semifinals, and we have to do something better. And always they say it's not enough. We have to do better, but it's an excuse because they know they are a good team and they have everything to fight for the big games, and they had everything to go to the final. So I think it's sort of thing of mentality.
Right. Rachel, would you agree with that? And more on the point as to what does it mean that if we cannot win a title again this year, so that would have been about 2.5 to 3 years, and that Manchester United has not won a title. And as United fans, we aren't used to that. Even under sort of Van Gaal, Mourinho, we used to nick one of those titles. We used to go all the way.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think it means for Oli? And then I'll go on to what it means for the squad with Neba. But what do you think it means for Oli?
I think it has to mean everything for Ollie because he knows what Manchester United is like to the ground. Like he's played for us. He's brought in coaches that have played for us, so they understand that the fans want titles and we want Premier League trophies and we want to be back competing again. We always knew that when Sir Alex left that there would be a transition period. I just don't think that the fans thought it would be an 8-year transition period. But I mean, I think it means everything to him. I think it'll definitely be in the back of his mind that he hasn't won one, and we haven't won one for about 3 years now. So it'll definitely be playing on his mind. But he's inexperienced. We all know that. But you can tell that he's working towards it, and he's getting the football back to where it should be. Because, I mean, the football under Jose and Louis van Gaal was boring, dull. It was horrible to watch. And with Ollie's style of playing his football now, it makes it so much more exciting. And we're actually seeing incredible moves up to goals and counter-attacking play that it just wasn't there under Jose. I mean, you see Jose with Tottenham now. They just park the bus and rely on Harry Kane and Son for their brilliance to win them games. So I think it definitely means everything for them. But going on to the squad's very young. that's what we have to take into consideration. It's a very young team, and there's not many players in there that have won a major trophy. I know Pogba has won obviously the World Cup, which is the biggest trophy in world football, but there's not many others in that team who have had experience on winning a Premier League or an FA Cup. I know the more senior players have, but the players that we rely on, like I don't know, like Rashford and Bruno and all that kind of players, that they haven't really had the chance to have that mentality of that winning. So I think once we win our first one, I think that'll then snowball and it'll kick on in their minds that, okay, I want to win more now.
Right. But Rachel, you say that, but when you think about it, David De Gea, Luke Shaw, Marcus Rashford, Martial, Matic, Mata, these guys have been there, right? These guys have won trophies. They've won Europa League. They've won the FA Cup with Manchester United. Mata has, of course, won elsewhere as well. Matic has won the Premier League. So at some point, I feel like the players have won enough. There are enough players who've done it at the big stage and have played at the big stage often enough to be performing better. But somehow, when we get to these kind of big games, as Neyba said and you said, we just seem to, we don't finish easy chances. Suddenly, we make individual errors that lead to goals. But somehow it just doesn't come together. And that is what concerns me. And I think we can agree that maybe it's a mentality issue because the skill is there. You don't get to the semis without the sort of skill on display. So probably it's just something to do with the mentality where we put too much pressure on ourselves, even maybe to win a trophy. But Nema, given our current squad, uh, like Rachel said, we are in the FA Cup in the next round. We are sort of tied on points on the Premier League at first place, and we are in the Europa League. Out of these three trophies, what do you think realistically is our best chance of winning a trophy this season? And if you were Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which one would you put all your sort of muscle behind?
I think we had a chance in the FA Cup. I think the clash with Real Sociedad is going to be really tough. And we have 5 remaining games in January, so, and then plus I think 8 or 9 in February, so it's going to be a really tough beginning of the year, because we can say we're going to challenge the 3 competitions we are, but there are too many games so close one another, and I think the best shot that we had is challenge for the Premier League. If we do something, winning to Burnley and obviously winning to Liverpool, I think we had a chance, because we will show something big if we do that. Because when we had the chance, we barely always miss it. So I think we had to do this now, and to show to everyone and to show from themselves that they can do something big. So I think we should focus on the FA Cup and the Premier League.
Right. So, Rachel, this is my question to you. Everyone keeps saying that we have the squad depth, we have the players, we've gotten players, but in my opinion, we don't have the squad depth. We have no replacement for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Harry Maguire has to play every single game, and when there was a chance for a rest yesterday, and he yet had to come on. So Harry Maguire has to play every single game. The team doesn't tick without Bruno Fernandes. Marcus Rashford cannot be rested because Dan James is nowhere near good enough. Ollie doesn't trust Matic anymore. So Scott or Fred, one of them have to play because we don't have another CDM. So do we really have the squad depth to even challenge for the FA Cup and the Premier League realistically?
In some positions, yeah, I think our midfield is better than what it was. I mean, when you look at our bench now and you've got Donny van der Beek, sometimes Pogba on the bench, whereas last season you would have, we've got to bring on Pereira or Lingard. But now it's kind of, you've got Greenwood on the bench. You could, obviously, before he got COVID, Palestri, he was looking like a very good prospect, and Amad Diallo as well. So I know those players will have to need time to bed in and settle in. But I think we still need to strengthen 100%, because you look at squad depth and you think you need to have squad depth for a title winning team. I know Liverpool don't really have that much squad depth, in my opinion. But I thought they were very, very lucky last year to get practically no injuries. I think Mane was injured for a few weeks, but that's about it. So I think we need to address the situation of the centre-back situation, the right wing as well, and a striker for when Cavani leaves, because Cavani's 33 years old and he's been absolutely fantastic for us, but he's getting on. I know people say that he's younger than Vardy, but Vardy's played in the Premier League now for a long time. So, and it's a different pace of game than what it was at PSG. So we definitely need to address the situation and strengthen in those areas if we are going to challenge for the title. And I think that will really show in January if Woodward and the Glazers are really serious about backing Ollie. Because if they're not, and they don't add to this squad in January, it will tell us that they don't think we're going to win the Premier League anyway. So there's no point. But if Ollie gets his way and he really pushes for the right wing position, the left wing, all the areas that we need, then we could really challenge. But we need to strengthen 100%.
Right. I think another interesting point about the Vardy and Cavani comparison is that Vardy didn't play any serious football till he was about 26, 27. So in footballing years, Cavani is sort of aged a lot more and he's taken a lot more injuries. He's had a lot more minutes than Jamie Vardy. So that's another thing that sort of works in Vardy's favor. But Neyba, we had one signing that everyone was very excited about in the summer window, which was Donny van de Beek. But somehow he's played against Watford, but somehow in the Premier League, even when we have 2 games in sort of 3 or 4 days, Ollie just would not play Donny van de Beek. So do you think that Ollie doesn't think he's good enough? Do you think he needs that much time to be blooded into the Premier League? What would you put your finger on? Why is sort of Donny van de Beek not starting? That's sort of the question, I think, on the minds of every Man United fan at the moment.
I don't see what Donny is doing on training ground, because he's not getting any minutes at all in Premier League, and then James now is back, and you see, okay, James had a brilliant start of the last season, and then he just suddenly disappeared. And now it's happening something like that with Donny van de Beek, and he has shown marvelous stuff. And but I think Ole is seeing something on training ground that he said he's now trying to sell him down, and he will learn and he will improve. So I think that is something that he's watching on training ground. I don't like it, because I really love how Donny plays. He's a really good one. He should play more, definitely, because he always perform very well on the pitch. Every single time that he has a chance, he shows something different. That is something that we need. Sometimes Ole didn't change the tactics, so just change man by man. And sometimes we have to do something on the pitch to show something different. And you know that Donny always bring you something different. So definitely has to play more. And I think he will get his chance, because like I said, we have so many games between January and February. So he has to do it. And hopefully he plays more.
Right. So Rachel, I think now we're coming into sort of, we had put out a video saying these 4 sets of games are sort of season defining, because they will determine whether we're in a title challenge or not, and whether we can win a trophy. So already we've lost the EFL Cup semi-finals. Already winning a trophy has become harder. The FA Cup progression was almost given. But now how important are these games against Burnley and Liverpool? Because we need to get back to winning ways, and it feels nice to be relevant again. So how important is that Burnley game? Is it almost more important than that Liverpool game?
I think it's more important, because if it's a more winnable game, with no disrespect to Burnley at all, it's a more winnable game than what it is against Liverpool. But I think if we win against Burnley and then we go in against Liverpool with our confidence high, and even if we just get a draw, like, I'm not saying that we should play for the draw, absolutely not, we should go for the win. But even if we were to draw, then that wouldn't be the worst situation as if we lost against Burnley and then had to rely on beating Liverpool. That's what I think, that's the pressure, and that's where you're saying that the mentality comes in, that there's too much pressure then, and then they bottle it. So I think the Burnley game is it's obviously not bigger in stature, because the Liverpool game is there's the rivalry is there. Obviously, you want to win every single Liverpool game that there is. But I think in terms of the importance, then 100%, I'd say the Burnley game is more important to win for league position, but the Liverpool game is more important in here.
Yeah. Right, because that's a very interesting point you make, which Sir Alex had made all those years ago when we lost 6-1 to City. He had come out and said that you don't win or lose the game, you don't win or lose the league with a game against Man City. You win or lose the league in the 36 other games. So this is one of those
Exactly.
36 other games, and as Neyba pointed out before, that whenever it matters, we seem to bottle it. So how would you go in approaching these games, Neyba? With these games, would you just play the first 11 in both the games back to back? Or would you sort of play a mixture against Burnley and then obviously against Liverpool, there's no opportunity to rest anyone because they will punish us if we slip up?
I think we should play with our best team. Those two games are just so important for our chances on the title race. So I think we should put them in the best they can. I think we should fight on Burnley, like Rachel said. It's very, very important to get a victory, and then the spirits are high. The pressure is kind of a little bit low, and then go to Liverpool and try to win it. And yeah, like Rachel said, we don't want to go to Liverpool and suddenly look like we need just a draw and that's it, because we always bottle big things and big chances. So I think we have to go over there and try to win those two games, and then let's see what happens in next games.
Right. Because that's the other thing, right? If we do win against Burnley and we get a draw out at Liverpool, we'd be 3 points clear of Liverpool. And our next two games are against Fulham, Sheffield, and then we play Arsenal. Arsenal's a sort of stuttering team. So there is a realistic chance here that if we do sort of win that game, we can put some pressure on Liverpool going into sort of the next round of fixtures. Because keep in mind, Liverpool are facing some difficult games themselves after Man United. They have a set of hard fixtures as well. So it's not they take on sort of Spurs. They have Man City as well to take on. So there is a chance for us to sort of stretch that lead. So Rachel, how many points realistically do you think can win the title this season?
I don't think there'll be much in it at all. I don't think one team will run away with it like Liverpool did last season. I think with the current situation about COVID, you've seen already that there have been some mad scorelines in this season already, like Liverpool losing 7-2, we lost 6-1. I mean, anything could happen really. And I think it's not just us and Liverpool that are in the race either. I think you've got to consider City, because they've started picking up their form. They had a stuttering start to the season, a bit like us and a bit like everyone really. But I think you've got to consider them as well. But I think, yeah, I don't think there'll be much in it. I think maybe 3-4 points that will maybe be in it this season.
What
I
would
don't
be
think
sort of
it'll
the
be.
points total, you think? About 78 points, 80 points? Whereabouts do you see the title heading?
I'd probably say about 80 to
Mhm.
82.
I sort of agree to that. I feel about 78 to 82 is sort of the range where I'm going
Mm.
for. But I think, Rachel, you brought up a very important point. Neba, Man City suddenly, they've been keeping a lot of clean sheets. They haven't been able to get goals. But over the last sort of 4 or 5 games, it seems like sort of Pep has found a system to play with a false nine, and they are getting goals enough to win the game. So, how much of a threat do Man City now pose? And are they almost more of title challengers than us? Because Pep Guardiola knows how to win. Man City know how to win. Whereas we are sort of finding our way. We're in this sort of position where we aren't supposed to be by anyone's imagination. So is Man City more of a title challenger than we are?
I think it depends on how many injuries we had or they had in those resting months of the Premier League, because it's COVID as well here, and then they can challenge. We all know that they always challenge since they brought Guardiola and they had great players. So I think we both are really a threat for Liverpool now that they are just too many injuries. They are too many injuries, and they are lacking of their last season lucky. So I think we both are threat for the challenge of the title. They are coming back. Man City is coming back. So I think those three teams had the chance to win the title. And then we don't have to forget Leicester City, that they are good team as well. They have Vardy, they have great team. So I think we could have an amazing end of the season.
Right. But I mean, with Brendan Rodgers there, you can be assured he's going to slip up at some point,
At
famously
some point,
slip up.
yes.
But Rachel, we've all been saying City United are title challengers. So are we just conceding to the fact that Liverpool are yet favourites?
I think so. I think with the form they're in and with the manner that they won it last season, I think that's what's contributed to them still being favourites. But I mean, I want to point out that even after the COVID break last season, they stuttered a little bit when they came back, but no one really noticed about it, and they didn't really it didn't make any difference because they were so far ahead. But we're seeing that this season, like Klopp he's rattled. He keeps talking about us and talking about our penalties, and that Liverpool fans that I know, they always get worried towards the latter end of the season because they know that their team can stutter and bottle it as well. So I think we have to kind of play on that a little bit. And if we just keep up the momentum and keep the pressure on, they will stumble. And we need to take advantage of that. And last season and seasons prior, we never really took advantage of when our rivals dropped points. But this season, we've started to kind of build on that. And like we've climbed the table, and we've been taking advantage when, say, Chelsea or Tottenham draw. So we just need to keep the pressure on Liverpool, and they'll stumble as well. They'll bottle it.
So why I think Liverpool are yet favourites is because when Van Dijk sort of got injured, everyone sort of almost, it was a foregone conclusion that this Liverpool team will crumble. And then Alisson got injured as well, and that's when then they kept 2 clean sheets right after that. So it's something about this team that they believe in themselves. But what you said is completely valid as well, that somehow like I said, we're relevant again. Somehow, Klopp comes out and says 3 games before, 2 games, he's got the FA Cup game, and before that he's come out and said, Man United are winning penalties. It's got nothing to do with what's just happened in his game. So somewhere we are in the thoughts of sort of other managers, and Mourinho's always talking about us, Pep Guardiola as well. Some way we are right there. But Neyba, do you agree with sort of Liverpool yet being favourites, or do you think that it's a little more sort of obscure than that? It's not that clear that Liverpool are just favourites at this point, and would you bet on them to win the title?
I think they most of the people believe they are the most favorites, the big one. But I think they are struggling, and they are feeling the pressure about us and about every other team behind them. I think they are feeling weak because of the injuries, because they are lacking of scoring goals as they previously have done. They were scoring lots and lots of goals, and now they are just know how to do it. Strange, but they have they have unbelievable strikers. So I think they are feeling the pressure, and they are not feeling so favorites. They are feeling that we are so close to reach what we have bottled previous seasons, that we always be so close and then we just mess it up. And now we are sort of looking like we can do it now. We can reach the point, reach the big stage, and being a big threat for them. So I think they are feeling weak, and I think they are not so favorite now, but they are feeling kind of the threat behind them.
Right. Let's just hope that the pressure does get to them and they do drop a few points. But I just want to close on a couple of things here. 2 weeks ago we did the StarCast, and we were talking about two managers in particular, Mikel Arteta and Frank Lampard. Mikel Arteta seems to have turned a corner. But Rachel, do you think that genuinely Frank Lampard is on the verge of getting sacked, or has he brought himself enough credit by his performances as a player for Chelsea?
I think the Frank Lampard and the Arteta situation is very, very similar to Ollie, that I don't think they'll get sacked very easily or very quickly because of the club ties. So I think the fans are a bit more lenient with them. I know that Frank is under a lot of pressure, especially I think what makes his situation worse than what Ollie's and what Arteta's is that he spent £220 million in the transfer window, and it's not working. So especially to have that much money to spend in one transfer window is astounding, and for it not to come off. I mean, you think of the names that he brought in, like Werner and Havertz, and obviously Pulisic was there last season, but it's not working for them. Like even Timo Werner's came out and said that he's having a really tough time in the Premier League. So I think he's under a lot more pressure than Arteta, but Ollie will always be superior in pressure because we're Manchester United. You always see that as soon as we lose a game, it's Ollie out straight away. It doesn't matter. Even that we won last night, it's still Ollie out. But people just don't trust the process, and I'm kind of known for being positive and trying to see things from both sides. So trying to see things from the Ollie outside and the Ollie inside. So he just needs time.
Right. I think you raise a valid point out there. I mean, a lot of hue and cry about how the media is always on our back, but I don't mind that. We're Manchester United, we're the biggest club in the country. Obviously, the media is going to be on your back for that. You have to win games. That's the nature of the job. That's the nature of being the biggest club in the country. And I'd rather be the biggest club in the country and have the media on my back than lose that tag to Liverpool and not have them on my back anymore. So I think you'd rather just have them on our back. But Neyba, your closing thoughts on Frank Lampard?
I think he was doing a great job when he hasn't that pressure of getting big stars and spending so much money. He was doing, and then this season he just bring those players and bring quality to his team, and then suddenly the games and the results are not here. So he has a lot of pressure for that because too much pressure, and maybe he's not used to have that kind of pressure. So I think he won't be sacked soon. I don't think so. He's not getting sacked soon. I think he will have this chance this season and see if we can reach the first the top of the league. If he can win a trophy, I don't know, maybe FA Cup, who knows. And then I think that's what he has his shot just this season, and then see what happens.
Right. So I completely agree with that sort of analysis there. That
there we go.
yeah, I think we face some technical difficulties there with the Wi-Fi. But anyway,
Yes.
yeah, I completely agree with that. I think people have gotten too hasty with sacking managers, but it is a results business, and it's sort of a product of the prices you pay for players these days. A mediocre player costs about 35-40 million pounds. Back in the day, you could get a Rio Ferdinand for that price and he'd win you 5 Premier Leagues. So it's a sort of product of that as well, that managers aren't sticking for long enough because people want immediate results. There's no time for not having that. But thanks guys for coming on. Thanks Rachel. Thanks She Devils United for coming on. Do check their page out. They do have a YouTube channel as well. Thanks Neyba, Man United Mexico. Check them out as well on Instagram. We've put the links in the description. So thank you so much for coming on. Apologize for I think there was a few seconds of technical difficulties there, but thanks. It was a great session, and hopefully we win Burnley, we win Liverpool, and we sit on top of the table. So hope to see you all soon. Subscribe to our channel, by the way, and we'll see you all soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching our video. If you do like it, please click on the thumbs up and please subscribe to our channel. Click on the bell icon to get daily notifications from the United Star. Follow us on Instagram at the.UnitedStar, and we will see you soon